It's been 2 years since huge amounts of opioid settlement money started flowing into states across the country to help fight the opioid epidemic. But in some, millions are still sitting untouched despite desperate need in their communities. Spotlight on America investigates what's taking so long to get these dollars out when more than 100,000 people nationwide are still dying every year of overdoses.
This is kind of the heart of the house.
John Dower is executive director of West Virginia Sober Living Solutions and also a recovering user himself.
These are individuals that were at one point in a recovery home and experienced an overdose death.
He says these pictures on the mantle of his group home are a painful but important reminder that recovery is often a lifelong struggle.
To lose somebody that went through the same thing you went through and you didn't die, and they did.
Wow.
It's hard.
And here in the Mountain State, it's been harder than anywhere else in the nation. West Virginia is a small state, but it's felt the biggest impact from the opioid epidemic. It has the highest overdose rate in the country, 3 times the national average.
Every day we're losing people in this state. We can't keep doing what we're doing, right?
Jonathan Board is the new executive director of the West Virginia First Foundation, a private nonprofit created by the state to distribute the bulk of its settlement money to fight the opioid epidemic. Nationwide, the overdose rate is going down slightly, but in West Virginia, it's up, with more than 1,500 people dying of overdoses in the state last year alone.
We've got to change this trend.
Despite that, the foundation has yet to distribute any settlement funds, nearly $250 million in the bank so far. Given the gravity of the crisis here in West Virginia, should the board have moved faster? Should the state have moved faster to get this money into the community?
I think everyone wants to move faster. We're trying to balance speed with success.
West Virginia is not alone in having a slow rollout of funds. Besides this state, Ohio, Missouri, Oklahoma, Montana, and Hawaii are also among the slowest moving states to get money out to communities.
How serious are we about keeping people alive?
Alexis Plus lost her son to an opioid overdose and is now executive director of the nationwide advocacy group Truth Farm. She says time is being wasted while people are dying.
There isn't a single state that can have an excuse for not moving quickly on this epidemic.
We want to make sure we get money in the hands of doers today.
Board says the state wanted this to be a community-driven process, so they held elections for board members, which took time. And then the previous director resigned. Now, 3 months on the job, he says he's stepping up the pace to get dollars out the door. Is the process set yet? Are you still working on it?
So we're still working on process. We want to make sure that we do that in a very judicious way, and there's that fine balance.
And then there's naloxone inside of it.
Back at the sober living home, Dower showed us opioid overdose medication kits. Besides his job here, he's also a West Virginia First board member who fought to be elected to represent people who have lived experience with substance use. Do you feel the pressure of the crisis?
I feel pressure every day, all day long.
But he also defends a cautious approach to spending the money.
We want to make sure that those X number of millions of dollars turn into less opioid use or more people in recovery, and not just we spent the money and the money spent and now we have nothing to show for it.
It's a tall task in this state known for its breathtaking beauty and label as the epicenter of the nation's opioid crisis. Board says failure is not an option.
We have to save our families. We have to save our communities.
Shortly after our interview, West Virginia First approved an expedited one-time grant process to get money out quicker. Grant applications just opened for a streamlined review process in areas deemed to be in greatest need, like recovery housing and youth drug prevention. They're still working on a more robust process moving forward, but Board says they hope to at least get some money out by the end of the year. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.